Hi, everybody. This is Kathy. Welcome again to another reading. I wanted for us to do a check in, right? Just a quick check in to see, just to review where we've been, a reading to see where we've been, where we are currently, more insight on that, and where we are headed based on where we've been and where we are. Yeah, and I wanted to use these three decks for this reading. Okay, so I have three decks here, and you can choose, you can start choosing. Every deck will represent, well, we will use all the decks for all the readings, but the deck that you choose will be the one that will be in the placement of theme. So you can pause this video and begin to settle in within yourself when you feel grounded and in touch with your intuition, you can decide what deck to choose. Or if you want to enhance our choice with crystals, I have some crystals here, so I'm just going to blindly pick. Okay, so the first crystal, I think it's an amethyst. This should represent pile number one or reading number one. There. The second crystal, which will represent pile number two or reading number two. I think it's a tiger's eye. And the last crystal. Okay. It's perfectly round. This represents pile number three or reading number three. This is going to roll around. Oh, happily not. Okay, so you can now take your time to pick which pile or which reading you would like to receive or what you feel resonates the most with your intuition. So, pile number one, pile number two, and pile number three. Okay, I am going to put the timestamps of each reading below in the description box, and you can jump right into your reading after this. Okay, see you there. Welcome back. If you picked, sorry, pile number one, and you picked this deck and picked this crystal, welcome to your reading. Let's get on with it. Okay, so let's pick three cards from this deck to be the central theme. I'm going to create three vignettes to represent the past, present, and the future, or where you've been, where you are currently, and where you are headed. Okay, let's cut this for you. And we'll pick three cards to represent your past, your present, and your future. Awesome. And then we are going to support it with cards from the other decks. I have pre-shuffled all of the decks for you. I don't know about you, but I kind of like the sound the cards make when I shuffle them. Okay, let's cut it. There, and let's pick 3 cards to support your other cards. We'll arrange them as we go along. We'll arrange them intuitively. Okay, and then finally, from this last deck, we'll get 3 cards too. It will complete our vignettes, or 3 sections. Let's cut them and choose 3 cards. Oh, I almost opened them. 2 and 1 more for here. Okay. Hold on, let me check and see. I'll just peek into the screen and see if they all fit. They kind of all fit. Okay, we can move some. And move them up. So we can see all of them. Anyway, I'll show you all the cards. Okay. Should we look into the present first or the past? This feels like it's right to do the past first, right? It's right to look into the past first. Wow. So the first card, the central card, is all about growth. Can you see it? I think it's a panther in the middle of the rainforest in Brazil. And this feels like being in a place where you belong, where you can expand the most. It feels like home, right? Okay, supporting that card, heighten your vitality. Can you see it? And openness. And so for me, they all align. They all kind of support each other. Can you, okay, just making sure that they all are seen. Yeah, that looks more. Okay. So in the past, it feels like you were able to maximize your growth because you were in a place where you feel supported, where you feel you belong, where you feel yourself and you feel uninhibited or unrestrained, no? So you felt very alive. There's a sense of aliveness. There's a sense of reaching your optimum level of growth, of health, of vitality. You can say, in a way, it feels like reaching your peak, right? So it feels like in the past you've been in a place where, for quite a while, I feel like you've spent a lot of time in this specific place or this specific area where you were allowed to progress, as much as you possibly humanly can. Okay, and moving forward to the present. Whoa, look at that. Angelic realm, courage, oh, this makes sense though. In the present, it feels like you have been inspired to go out of your comfort zone, to serve, right? What does it mean to serve? In any position where what you do not only think about yourself, right? In whatever you are doing now, it feels like other people benefit greatly from what you do or from the fruits of your labor or from the products that you put out there in the world. And it feels like it's a very inspired choice to take. Perhaps it's really going out of what is familiar to you. And perhaps there's such a feeling of being blessed in the past that you were inspired to go out and do things that benefit others. So I feel like right now this is where you are. It's a very inspired place. It's also a place where you are assisted, because anything that you do is not just for you. And so more energy is required in whatever you do. And so this card that says light from the angelic realm, it feels like it's direct connection to your spirit guides, especially the angels within your team of spirit guides. Wow, nice. Okay, and finally, where we are headed. Okay, that's no wonder. Expansion is the root word or is the theme. Gateway. Oh my gosh. Expansion, expansion. Okay, so whatever you are doing, it feels like this will, in a way, continue. And not just continue, I feel like you will see growth in this aspect. The first thing that attracted my eyes are these balloons. And so it feels like, oh, that makes sense. That does make sense. I feel like something about traveling will open your eyes into new ways where you can expand where you are right now, where you can expand your service or you can expand your product that benefit others. I feel like you will get inspiration from seeing other places, being in other places, and see how it works or how the needs of people are met in those places. You know, perhaps in the same way that you are doing, but slightly with a different twist. I feel like more inspiration will come to you. No, more inspiration will come to you. And there's two cards that mimic each other, that mirror each other, expansion. And so clearly, this will continue, it will just grow, no, in different directions, which is a good thing because we need that energy, this energy of service, this energy of connection, inspiration, right? Yeah, and so it feels like you're someone who's quite blessed, no? Perhaps you're not blessed in a way with abundance of resources, but whatever you have great appreciation for it, and you see them as blessings and you see them as advantages. And it feels like you are a very positive person and sensitive to the world and the people around you. And so because of that, I feel like you have a lot of assistance. So you can live this purpose out of being of service to the people around you, perhaps to your country, perhaps to your family, perhaps to the world. And I feel like you're being supported to grow even more, right? more inspiration will come to you. Okay? So I hope that inspires you and helps you. See you in your next reading. Bye. Hi there, welcome back. If you picked pile number 2 or this deck, pile number 2 or this deck, or this tiger's eye, welcome to your reading. So I've pre-shuffled all of the decks just to make sure that energy from past readings have been cleaned from the decks. But you know what? Let's shuffle them some more. Okay. Kind of infusing the cards with your energy as well. Okay, here we go. Let's cut this. And there you go. Let's pick 3 cards that will represent the theme of your past, your present, and your future. And then we'll get 3 from each deck, 3 cards from each deck that we have here to support the themes or to just give us greater clarity with it or just to expand. Okay. And get 3. First card for the past, for the present, and then we will just arrange it intuitively and for the future. Yes? Now let's get cards from this last deck. Shuffle them one more time. Okay, wait, hold on. Maybe this way would be better. Yeah, this card stock is pretty tough, actually. They're very sturdy, not tough, sturdy and thick. Okay, let's cut them. Okay, and pick 3 from the top. I feel like putting them here. Okay, and again, putting them here. Okay, this feels very... Okay, why not? And the last one here. Okay, let me check if you can see everything. Okay, let's just move these decks a little bit out of the way so we can move the cards upward and you can see each card clearly. Some of the cards are quite large. Okay, so let's start. Let's start in your past. Let's look at where you have been or where you're coming from. So here it says, ooh, nice, first card, beautiful, breakthrough. Look at that. Creativity, the Renaissance era, and standstill. Wow. It feels like you were in a time of your life where I feel like you stayed here for quite a while, though. No? Perhaps you discovered what you truly wanted to do, or perhaps as a child you already knew what you wanted to do. And it was a process of getting there and staying there for quite a while. And it feels like it was a time of, I'm not just going to say creativity, but it feels like you were able to manifest what you wanted. It feels like you can bring your ideas to life, right? You can make those ideas into something physical and real. Not everybody is afforded that capability, right? Some people are workers and they can work towards a goal, but it's hard for them to start with the idea or find that idea or be creative. And so it feels here that you had a vision and you were able to reach that vision, make that vision into fruition, and it feels like you stayed there for quite a while and you grew there significantly. Now let's check where you are. Okay, let's open the central card first. Make a wish. Focus. This feels right there. Make a wish, focus, and power. Yes, this feels more right to me. I feel like where you are now is not so clear to you. Perhaps you are in somewhat of a crossroad. I am being drawn to the number 9 of the first card grouping, and it feels like, yes, you stayed here, but it feels like it's the end of the process. No, I feel like perhaps you've done all that you can and have grown as much as you can, doing what you used to do, engaging in this activity or in this area of your life. And I feel like you're in a little bit of a loss, at a loss, and you're not quite sure where to go. I'm trying to make sense of these cards: focus and power. It feels like what used to work for you is not anymore applicable now, and that's why you're in a little bit of a loss, right? Or in a state of in between. It's not a bad place to be. I know when you're there, it can feel very discouraging coming from a place of absolute knowing, right? But in between places, they hold great opportunity for growth, right? It's just the in between before our choosing, before we take action, that is quite disconcerting, for all of us. But once you are able to move forward from there, then it's going to get easier. But right now, it feels like you don't see clear-cut choices right now. And in a way, you're trying to engage your creativity again to see, to ask the universe to give you clues. Okay, I hope this is the clue that we are looking for. Now let's open the future card. Celebrate differences. I feel like this is putting two opposite things together that usually would not come together. Look at this. freedom. Oh, and simplicity. Wow. Wow. If you are thinking about leaving this, but not having a clear sense of where to go, it feels like what's being asked of you to see more clearly is to remove ties first, right? You cannot truly decide when one foot is in one place and one foot is in another. That really makes you, yeah, like someone in between. But it feels like you might be able to think more clearly when you have had some distance from the past. No, and you cannot create distance when you are still involved in the past. And so it feels like, yeah, you're being asked to kind of cut ties for a bit to define yourself. And from there, you'll be able to see, and perhaps, maybe not to see, but kind of begin to envision a way forward or a new reality, right? Different from where you used to be. You know, perhaps not so different, right? Perhaps it can still be connected, but it feels like it needs to be in a lesser way. No, it feels like it needs to be in a lesser way. That your life needs to be simplified, I guess, to remove things that do not resonate with you anymore, right? Or remove yourself from surroundings that don't resonate with you anymore, with people that don't resonate with you anymore, with culture that do not resonate with you anymore. Perhaps, you know, what this central card is making me feel is that perhaps it's something where you're going towards is something you looked down on before, right? Because it feels like the antithesis of what you used to represent. But I feel like this card is telling you that there is a way to bring those two together in harmony, in unity. They don't have to be the opposites of each other. And perhaps that is the confusion because maybe you've branded this direction or this thing or this job as something that was bad or that you really didn't want to get into, right? And now you find yourself in a way, I don't know, like attracted to it or being called to explore it in some way. And it feels like turning against what you've always said or acted before. But the truth is, we all change, right? We all evolve. And sometimes the things that we've sworn off are sometimes the things that will allow us to grow, right? And so I feel like, yes, there's a lot to think about. And there is much difficulty because it really feels like this defined you, the past defined you so strongly, no? But somehow you feel like its time has ended. The time to end it has come. And really, it feels like the advice is to extricate yourself first, in some small or large degree, whatever you can afford, right? If you can remove yourself, create some distance from your past, then you can think more clearly. You'll be able to think more clearly and define what you really want, what you really need, the bare essentials of what you want, or how you see yourself moving forward. And this one that's a celebrate differences, it feels to me it's like trying to unite two opposites, right? Perhaps what you're attracted to right now is something that you've sworn off before, no? But somehow it's calling you. And that's not a bad thing. It's not to say that you're going to stay here forever, right? It's just perhaps a way for you to create more growth, because somewhere here you've stopped. No, you've reached your peak. Perhaps this can just give you that small step towards, the bigger thing, or this could be the next big thing in your life, right? I'm trying to see what we're still receiving from the guides. And I'm being called to put that in the center. It's a tiger's eye. And it feels like you're being given the ability to see more. Because right now it feels like you're in a place of really not knowing where to go, some kind of confusion. But the fact that this too overlaps, it feels like, I think you see, that the power you can exercise in this very confusing moment is your power to choose, right? Whether to stay or to go, or to what extent do you still want to remain involved in the past, right? I feel like this is the key, exercising this power to create some space for freedom for yourself, so you can think more clearly, so you can decide, so you can experiment, explore. Okay, so I hope this gives you an insight to what you're going through right now, and gives you inspiration, and gives you permission, no, to do what you feel is best, what feels right in your heart. Okay, I'll see you again in your next reading. Bye. So if you pick pile number 3 and pick this deck, or pick this crystal, I think it's an amber, no? Welcome to your reading. Okay, I'm going to set this aside because it rolls around. Okay, so these cards from the deck that you picked will form the central theme, or will take center stage in each piles, or each vignette that we will create, representing your past, your present, your future. I have pre-shuffled all the decks, but it will not hurt to shuffle them some more. Okay, and let's infuse it with your energy and cut it, and pick 3 cards representing your past, your present, and your future, or where you're headed, where you've been, where you are now and where you're headed. Okay, and from this deck, let's pick 3 cards also to support or expand the central cards. This one feels it belongs here, there, and there. We'll just arrange them intuitively, right? And yeah, see how they connect. And also from this deck, let's cut them. Cut the deck first and pick. It feels quite tight. Why not? You know, sometimes the arrangement that it creates also tells us more about what the cards are or what our intuition is trying to say to us through the cards. So let's first look into your past, or where you've been. Wow, truth. Beautiful card. Whoa. You see, the theme of the tree repeats. Do you think there's something there? Okay, let me just check the screen just to make sure that you can see all the cards that we picked for you. Breakthrough. Nice. Okay, I feel like they should be here. 5. Oh, and not only that. So you see in both cards there are trees, and again my eyes are telling me the number on top of breakthrough card is 5, and the number repeats down here as well. For me, 5 is actually manifestation, right? That for me is manifestation. Does it mean something else to you? Okay. I feel like you were in a place where you have grown so much since, I don't know, finding out a truth, unearthing a truth, or admitting to a truth. You know, it feels like you experienced exponential growth because of a certain truth that you have either unearthed, learned, found out, right? Worked towards, could be. And so, yes, that's what it feels like to me. Okay, let's put this underneath because it feels like it overwhelms. And this feels more right. Okay, let's see where you are now and how this exponential growth through truth is playing out in your present. Okay, the central card. Whoa. Illumination. Illumination. How crazy is that? That card with the same words repeat. Whoa. If this is illumination, I am going to freak out. It is not. It says happiness. No? And also there's a number there, 19. Oh, it's 2. 99 plus 1 is 10, 1. And this is 2. Okay. Wait, is this? Yeah. You know, it's beginning to feel like the truth that you have stumbled upon or learned. Is this? Could it be like spiritual growth, right? Perhaps you have engaged in spiritual wisdom, in spiritual education or knowledge, because it feels like the truth, it just continues, right? Not only did it resonate within you, in the deepest parts of you, but it allowed you to see the world and see your life with greater clarity. And I feel like one of the things that can do that is growing in your area of spirituality. You know, it could be more involvement in the religion you were born into, or perhaps even progressing to a new religion, or enhancing your beliefs with new beliefs that kind of expands on not only your knowledge but your connection with the divine. You know, it feels like that, and it feels like this brought you a lot of happiness. It's really brought you a lot of happiness, also a lot of wisdom. And so currently you're really in a place of knowing, no, in a place of it really, you know, Shambhala in the Himalayas. I think some people think it's like a mystical place that may or may not exist, but the fact that this has come up for you in illumination, it feels like, in a way, you feel like you found the secret to life, the secret to happiness, you know, the secret to enlightenment almost. You know, it really feels like in the past it was earth shattering. No, it really transformed you, and it really allowed you to grow really fast. And this time, it feels like this energy of growth has softened, and it's become wisdom. No, it's become illumination. It's become a quiet closeness with the divine, or with your own spirit, even. No, where are you headed? I have no idea where this is headed. Every single reading is so different. Okay, but I guess Spirit knows who's going to watch this and who's going to pick the deck. So here we are. Okay, look at this. This makes a lot of sense. Well, to me at least. It says community. It says, the next one says stillness. And then the next one, heighten your vitality. Okay. It feels like there's no place for this energy to go, really, but to expand it into your community. It feels like you're being asked to share all this light, all this goodness, all this joy, all this knowledge. Perhaps you're being asked to step into a more leadership role. I don't know if you've considered that, mentoring or teaching, because you've reached a place where, in a way, not that there's no more growth to be had, but this growth on your own. I think that's the end of it, and you can only grow even more. No, reach more heights, right? Reach heights if you are among others or sharing it with others. And it feels like it doesn't have to go out too far, right? To people who do not know about this. But it can start within the community, right? Of those you are already involved with, right? In this, perhaps in this spiritual community, or in this school of education, spiritual education, or in your church. It could be that, right? In your church, in your synagogue, in your temple. And it feels like you will stay here for a while, no? Because you will feel very purposeful, actually, quite purposeful. Being very involved in a community will not always be easy, but you will be able to put all of this into practical action. Because all wisdom, all enlightenment, they are easy as concepts when we are alone, right? But when it's time to apply it to a world that's still very much deep into duality, good and bad, male and female energies, night and day, and clashing differences, that is really the true test. That's really the true test, and where you're supposed to practice all of this, all of what you have learned. For me, the stillness here, it doesn't mean peace right now to me. Not quite, but it feels like this is where you are being asked to stay for a bit. No, it feels like you're being asked to stay for a bit. And although it it might be challenging, it feels like it will bring out all your resources, right? Not that you will be tested, no, but you will see. You will feel very much alive actually, because you are able to practice all that you've learned, apply all that you have learned, really in almost the real world setting, right? Because being cocooned in this is very much different, no, than applying all that. Okay. And also, it's a different dimension when you are assisting someone else in that path. And so this, I didn't recognize it, but this feels very symmetrical, right? This path was really supposed to lead to this path, right? But this one was really out of the ordinary. It really catapulted you to a different trajectory. You know, this event, this learning, this unearthing of or discovering of this truth really put you in a very different path, which set up this in motion. No, because this feels like they really belong to each other. Yeah. And this one was just the way through which you had to, yeah, you had to go through this to do that. Yeah. But this was very dramatic. It feels like it was a very dramatic awakening or learning, no? And that set you up on a path. That is very much, feels very spiritual to me. Right. Yes, just not all the cards look like this. I mean, not all the readings look like this. They were all so different. And yeah, I think that's it. Trying to see if there's any more that the guides want to say or bring my attention to. No, but I feel like that's it. I feel like that's it. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this reading for you, and I will see you again in your next reading. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.